Today on the Cardinals Squad Show, is Walter Nolen set to have a lost rookie season? And is Marvin Harrison Jr. the most obvious Cardinals breakout candidate? Let's talk about that next.
Rise up, Red Sea. It's the Cardinals Squad. Sponsored by Game Time. Everything Arizona Cardinals every week. Covering all the big hits and game-changing plays from the Valley of the Sun. The way only the Locked On Podcast Network can. Gear up and squad up. The Cardinals Squad Show starts now.
Welcome into the Arizona Cardinals Squad Show. I am your host, Benjamin Garcia, host of the Ben Garcia Show. Morning is on YouTube and a credentialed Cardinals media member. Thanks for making Locked On Cardinals Squad Show your first listen here on this beautiful Thursday. Don't forget that Locked On Cardinals Squad Show is free and available on all platforms, including YouTube. So click that follow or subscribe button to do it. Thousands of Cardinals fans have already done. Become an everydayer and get locked on to the Cardinals Squad Show right here each and every day. This episode is brought to you by Monarch Money. Take control of your finances with Monarch Money. Use code LOCKEDONNFL at monarchmoney.com for 50% off your first year. Joining me today from your regularly scheduled Locked On Cardinals program, Alex Clancy, as well as former ASU football alum, former NFL offensive lineman, and Super Bowl champion Jameel Douglas. What's up, fellas? How are we doing? How's everyone doing on this Thursday? Is Clancy going to complain because we're streaming late again?
No, that's only the group chat. It's breezy in here. It's breezy in my place. I'm not exactly sure why, but right now it's pretty breezy.
That's a good problem to have.
Yeah, especially if both you guys, so I'm the only one here that actually works. The other two guys are thriving in San Diego in beautiful weather. It's good all the time. Meanwhile, I'm the only one here actually getting my hands dirty. And they just don't understand what it's like to be in Phoenix right now. Isn't that right, Clancy?
Well, I mean, listen, your Chick-fil-A days, I work from home.
Your Chick-fil-A days.
Well, I've been working since 5 a.m.
That is crazy. Baby.
I don't even know what day it is.
Your hands get dirty. Your shirt gets dirty when you drink water. It's just,
I got Sprite today just for that reason. That's all. That is forever and always going to live on this show. All right, rookie mistakes being made by me, deciding to go after both these guys, but continuously getting just trampled by both of them. However, maybe not so much a rookie mistake, but a rookie injury. Cardinals first-round rookie Walter Nolen will miss the start of training camp with a calf injury that he suffered while training in the offseason, according to coach Jonathan Gannon. Gannon did not put a timeline on the defensive tackle's return, just saying that the 16th overall pick will miss some time. However, Gannon didn't rule out that Nolan could miss time in the regular season. Listen, I know how much you guys weren't banging the table as much as me when it came to potentially bringing someone else in this room. However, Walter Nolen, now injured with a calf injury, similar to what Darius Robinson was last year, where he missed like the first 11 weeks of the season. Concerning for the Cardinals pass rush. Clancy, I'll start with you.
Not immediately. Nobody was drafted. I'm going to sound like a broken record until the season starts. Nobody was drafted to save a position group at all. If there were 0 draft picks for the Arizona Cardinals going into 2025, this roster would be exponentially better than it was last year. So, yeah, obviously you don't want to see number 16 overall get any sort of calf injury, lower extremity. I mean, BJ Ojulari, then Darius Robinson, and then Walter Nolen. It seems like it's a rite of passage before you can actually play for the Arizona Cardinals. But you got Calais, you got Dalvin Tomlinson, you got Dante Stills, who's been the best interior defensive lineman the Cardinals have had over the last 3 years. Bilal Nichols is on PUP still, but you've still got Justin Jones. You've got bodies, and then Darius Robinson fully healthy. Of all of the guys to get hurt, and you don't wish your worst enemy, let alone anybody on the Cardinals, to get hurt, it's better that it's him than Will Johnson or anybody else. Like, again, you don't want anybody to get injured, but there's that cocoon there. There's that talent level there, to speak long-windedly.
I think it's a big deal. I think it's.
Damn,
I did
not want to hear that.
I think, and this is why. If this was a 3rd or 4th round draft pick, then I might say, hey, it is what it is. But you drafted this guy in the 1st round. I understand that there's depth in the room, but also you are depending on this guy to whether it's anchor your run game or be effective in the pass game. So I think it is a big deal in terms of the difference, I mean, we know he played in the SEC, but it is different when you go against NFL caliber offensive linemen week in and week out. I think that wear and tear takes a while to get used to, and training camp is that time in which you kind of get up to speed with things. So I think it's a big deal in terms of just getting this guy up to speed. I don't know that you can simulate the preseason, those valuable reps for a rookie defensive lineman once you get out of the preseason.
So this is already sounding eerily similar to the Darius Robin situation from last year, where being at training camp, hearing Jonathan Gannon speak about it, it was right now the Cardinals obviously are obligated to mention injury. You can't hide these things. You're putting guys on PUP, you're announcing it, all that good stuff. However, if I'm not mistaken, the Cardinals don't need to put out an actual injury report until week 1, Wednesday, following up their first game against the Saints. Last year at this time, when Darius Robinson was dealing with a similar issue, Gannon basically said the same thing, which leads me to believe, yeah, calf injury could linger from now all the way to potentially week 11. And I can't be having Walter Nolen deal with his rookie struggles or whatever it's going to be, getting acclimated to the NFL level in post week 8. I'm going to need him for the long run. And now you're talking about, okay, Walter Nolen is out, and now you can't have another big injury to it. And you look at guys now like Jonathan Jones and Bilal Nichols, who are probably going to make this team now, or one of those two guys who are likely on the chopping block. I don't know, man. It makes me really worried about this defensive line now that the thing that we loved about it was they have fairly good pass rusher after fairly good pass rusher, not an elite number, but a bunch of just solid guys. Once you knock down one or two guys, that depth just becomes just that, a bunch of solid players who can't consistently get pressure, and that worries me. So I'm hitting the panic button a little bit more than maybe I would have last year with Darius Robinson, because I already lived this before. Feels like Independence Day again with the Cardinals defensive linemen. So that's where I would go, man.
With the aliens or Groundhog Day?
Yeah, Groundhog Day. Sorry,
okay, I was just curious. I didn't know what movie we were talking about.
Listen.
Day. You're absolutely right.
I think from a standpoint of the defensive group, they'll be fine. But yeah. I do think they make that his style of play and how effective he is going to help their defense. But they will be fine without him. Hopefully it's not something that lingers well into the season. Calves are tricky though. Like if he's an offensive lineman, he might be able to get by with a calf, but just exploding out of his stance every play, taking on blocks. It could be longer.
Have you ever had a calf?
No, I never had a calf. And that's not a knock on my athleticism. That doesn't mean I'm slow. So don't try to do that. But calves are tricky if you don't take care of them the right way. We saw it in the NBA, with guys like KD, like they get a calf strain, and next thing you know, it's the worst thing that can happen. So. Yeah. It's becoming more and more tricky to take care of.
See, here's the thing. Walter Nolen, you hit it. Like Walter Nolen's skill set is like none of the other pass rushers interior on the outside. He's got the twitch that they drafted him for. Okay. I'm sorry if I offended Ben. He's got the twitch that Dalvin Tomlinson and Calais Campbell, the 7.2 second 40s don't have. But 100%. The thing is, with the interior, and Jamil playing interior offensive lineman, you can attest to this.
Yeah.
If you've got a cohesive unit up front, it doesn't have to have a superstar if you can complement with some bend on the outside. And that's the thing for me. It's like the pass rush and the interior defensive lineman group without Walter Nolen is a B+ on an average day and an A on a really good one. Obviously, you're going to have to see some guys emerge to get to that A level. But if you're lining up at right guard and you see Dalvin Tomlinson over the center, you see Calais Campbell right next to him, you see Darius Robinson over the left guard in the gap over there, it could be so much worse than that. We saw that for the last 5 years.
Yeah.
So that's why for him, Walter Nolen's going to be that maniac in the middle. He's going to be so much faster than his body should allow.
Yeah.
But they can play meaningful football without it. And Ben, you said it. For the long run, I'm looking 4 years from now. I'm not looking popped Achilles to rush him back this year. I don't care if he got, and Darius Robinson missed more time. His mom passed away in October of last year. So like that added to that. Like it wasn't all injury. It just kind of halted everything. Made people realize that football is not the most important thing. So yeah, it's not perfect, but this locomotive will continue without Walter Nolen. And when he comes back, if it's not week 1, they'll be ready for him. And like, how much was he going to play in the preseason anyways? Like, I know we're not getting to it yet, but how much is he going to play in the preseason anyways?
Man, it's not necessarily preseason. Honestly, like I like rookies and second-year players to go out and do preseason for legitimately like a couple of plays, and maybe a drive, just to get the rhythm, right? Just to get the rhythm of like, okay, we're going here, we're getting in these cover 2, cover 3 shells. I'm rushing the passer here, we're whatever, right? I just like that ability to get into the rhythm. Other guys, I'm not super worried about it because I know Kyler Murray has done it 10,000 times at this point. However, training camp is more what I'm worried about, man, because you start to look at that Cardinals depth chart now, which again, this is not an official depth chart, but it's without Walter Nolen in there. It's Dalvin Tomlinson, who I like. I don't love. Calais Campbell, who I like, but is 100 years old. Zaven Collins, Josh Sweat, and Baron Browning. Like, it's just, it worries me, man, because what I thought the Cardinals' bread and butter was going to be, at least at the start of the season, was going to be pressure up the middle. I'm kind of opposite of you, Clancy, where I kind of value pressure up the middle more than I do on the outside, because I go back to that Tom Brady quote from years ago where it's when you can make guys have to, obviously can't step up in the pocket to deliver a throw, it makes it a little bit harder for everyone. So I was kind of looking forward of that rotation of Robinson, Calais, Dalvin, Walter Nolen, maybe a Bilal Nichols is thrown in there at some point. And you can just keep throwing body after body in the interior of that offensive line and make it tough for guys to step up in the pocket. And now when you don't have that, you're really reliant on not so much Josh Sweat, who's, by the way, over-underline for sacks this year was 6.5. I'm worried about Baron Browning on the other side. And so I know it's still 10 times better than it was last year in terms of their group, even with Walter Nolen injured. It's just like I kind of was relying on him. That's where I go with it.
So you're relying on a rookie to lead the charge from the interior from week 1. That may be the first fracture in a thought process.
A first rounder, yes. I am relying on him on a bad defensive line, yes.
He's played as many snaps as you and I have and Jamil has combined on defense in the NFL. So if that's like the expectation, I said in the NFL, I'm sure you played on both sides in high school or something. I don't know you that well yet. But like I'm sure you played defense at some point in your life. But that's not how the NFL works when you have an infrastructure in place led by veterans. I know Calais is 38. Calais has been fringe all-pro since leaving Arizona, okay? Just because he's old doesn't mean that he's not going to be impactful. Dalvin Tomlinson is going to be able to cover the A-gap by himself. He's one of the best run stuffers in football still. Dante Stills, again, has been the best interior defensive lineman the Arizona Cardinals have had. And then Justin Jones is still there, who's a big dude that came over from Chicago a couple years ago. Like, the Cardinals are going to be okay infrastructure-wise, and then when you add the kid back, it just means you don't have to rush him back. That's it. Like, that's where I'm seeing it. It sucks. Yes, you want to do with the quickest twitch on the team, even though he's a rookie, to play week 1, but if he's not, at least this team isn't going to crater. And that's the big picture I'm looking at, seeing that as a positive, taking it out of a negative from him getting injured. I don't know, maybe it's rose-covered glasses, but I'm taking the things that I've seen play before.
I think I'm just getting more nervous that they could lose another guy, and then I'm like, damn, it's the first day of camp. There's still weeks to go.
Hey, listen, you can't live your life like that, Ben. You can't live your life like that. It's the NFL. Things are going to happen. Hey.
So just out of curiosity, Jamil, because I maybe you haven't had a calf injury, but I know you know guys on the defensive line who have had that sort of injury before.
Yeah.
When you hear this, what do you automatically think in your head? Like when I roll an ankle, I'm like, all right, no basketball for 2 weeks, or probably a week at this age. But for you, for Clancy, it's probably like a month. Like you immediately know. For a calf, at this rate, what do you think it is? Like immediately.
Well, when you roll your cankle is what you meant to say. But a calf, man, I'm telling you right now, a calf for a defensive lineman, that injury has to be completely healed before you can go out there and fully be invested in the game. The last thing you want the guy to have to do is be in his stance and worry about if he's pushing off to take on a block, is his calf going to hold up? So it's definitely something that they've got to pay attention to. I hate hearing that there's soft tissue stuff early on, especially with like a young guy, because it's like, I mean, you should be primed and ready to go, you know, but things do happen, and I understand that, but you hate to see soft tissue stuff because it's almost like preventable sometimes. But hey, who am I? I'm no athletic trainer. I just know what I know.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, like for me, when I hear calf in the NFL, I think a month. And in a month, we're talking about like at minimum. I don't know. Maybe it really isn't that bad. Maybe it's just it's more precautionary than anything. But I already think a month, like on its own. And then I'm like, okay, so what is that? Like a week left of camp? I mean, not even camp. That's actually like this. That's more like getting into the season. And so I wonder how ready this guy's going to be able to play week 1. But if that's the case, listen, if the guy's back by week 3, then forget it. I guess I shouldn't even be complaining. It's just when it becomes a post week 8 injury, I'm like, I can't be dealing with rookie mistakes in week 10. That's where I'd be at. Clancy?
I mean, the lights could go out at State Farm Stadium for the first 2 months and we're not playing. Like, it's just, there's so many things. Like week 8 is like, it's because it's a calf injury doesn't mean it's going to be that. Like, it shouldn't even be in the conversation. Yeah. It's like the moral of this story is avoid having cankles. No, the moral of the story is when it comes to a rookie,
if you can,
when it comes to a rookie and you have the talent in place, even though it's, advanced talent age-wise, you don't have to rush him back for the defensive line to show up on game day and actually show face. Yeah. Like, that's it. If it takes, maybe you have him out an extra week. You have him out week 2 and let him play week 3. He's going to be rotational to begin with anyways. I wouldn't expect him to be a first round of the depth chart anyways week 1. So this sucks. It sucks that it's a calf injury. It sucks this is the 3rd offseason in a row we've seen a front end dude in the first 2 rounds get hurt like this. And also, the Cardinals are well equipped to be able to move on business as usual, even though it aforementionedly sucks.
Who was the other one? The one 3 years ago?
Bijou Ojulari. Well, Bijou Ojulari came in injured, and then he played a couple weeks, and then he got injured, and then he played, and then he tore his ACL in camp 2 years ago.
That was last year they tore his ACL in camp.
Right,
that one was tough.
Coming into his rookie year too.
Yeah, you're right. All right. We're going to talk some breakout candidates, but more specifically, Marvin Harrison Jr. Is he the most likely Cardinal to break out this season, or is it all just a little overhyped? Let's talk about that next. First, this episode is presented by Yahoo Fantasy. Fantasy football is back. Fire up the group chat, get your draft board ready, and buckle up for a season filled with breakouts, busts, and all of the overreactions we live for. It's all going down on Yahoo Fantasy. This year, myself, the Cardinals squad show are playing on Yahoo Fantasy, and should too, whether you're a first-timer or a veteran making your millionth league. I actually just signed up for a Yahoo Fantasy Football League just 2 days ago. What I really like about Yahoo's fantasies, in really any of them, Yahoo Fantasy Football, basketball, I really like the percentages that they give you in the middle of your matchups if they think you're going to win at 2:00 on the middle of the second slate of games. It's you got the 76% chance of winning. I enjoy kind of that aspect of it, as well as picking up players just seems a little bit easier to add and drop them on Yahoo Fantasy. So listen, to celebrate 28 years of fantasy greatness, Yahoo Fantasy is dropping 28 big new features over 28 days, giving you more ways to play, more ways to draft, and more ways to win. It all begins August 4th. Stay tuned and get started by creating or joining a Yahoo Fantasy Football League at yahoofantasy.com/LockedOnNFL. That's yahoofantasy.com/LockedOnNFL. And let's make this fantasy season the best one yet. All right, keeping the show rolling. Hey, just real quick question, because we just got off the topic of, fantasy football in that last ad read. Do you guys play fantasy football? You guys do? Jamil, you do? Are you allowed to?
Well, yeah, I'm not a player anymore.
But you can you play it in the league?
You can. I believe you can play it, but you can't be in a paid league if you're in the NFL. So I didn't honestly. This is the truth. I never played until post career. Swear to you, I would tell you. I mean, I'm not gonna get in trouble, I would tell you.
Okay, I was just curious. Clancy, you played as well. Clancy feels like a little anti-fantasy football. You just don't seem like you're really into it. You play with a bunch of buddies. Well, me and my buddies, we always do a destination draft every year.
Yeah, no, I've been in my high school league. I've been in for over 20 years, and then I've been in a couple dynasty leagues. So I did 5 1 year. I did 5 1 year. What?
I said the guy's
two antiques, dude.
I said the guy's a dinosaur.
Yeah, the guy's a dinosaur is right, but hopefully you'll look this pretty at 41. Okay. I know Ben's already out, so no, but I have a 20-year Yahoo Fantasy League that we're actually drafting in 2 weeks. I love you.
2 weeks.
Yeah. 3 weeks.
Cow.
3 weeks.
Dude, I should have had
before. We do the Labor Day week one is banana. Like, do you have family? Like, do you go on vacation? It's like I would never want to do it that week. We always do it the week before.
We're doing ours August 23rd. We always do a destination draft. So we're going to Prescott this year and getting all the boys together and doing like water pong, because I'm not sure if you can say the other thing on here for picking. So
Wine
good times.
Pong? What would you normally do?
No, like beer pong, you freaking dummy. Anyways,
you strike me as a wine cooler guy.
I don't actually. What's crazy is I actually don't drink, so it's even funnier. So someone else will drink it for me. Anyways, moving on to things that actually matter. But I was just kind of curious. Maybe at some point we'll talk about, like in the last segment, some sort of fantasy football, the best Cardinals fantasy football player to draft. We talked about some breakout candidates, and one of the things I got to give Clancy credit for is he sparked this topic of discussion. I thought it was really interesting because I was kind of going up and down the roster. We've talked about oftentimes who could be a breakout candidate for this team. We've talked about just a couple of days ago, guys that like are under the radar breakout candidates. But is Marvin Harrison Jr. the most obvious breakout candidate for the Arizona Cardinals? Jamil, let's start with you.
Yes.
All right.
That's analysis right there, baby.
I mean, hey, listen. The guy's a first-round receiver. The production of your fourth overall pick. When you look at the history of first-round receivers, the guys that, the Jamar Chases, the Justin Jeffersons, the CD Lambs, like those guys are producing. And so he's the clear-cut candidate. There's no one else that we're looking to see how they perform outside of the quarterback. Obviously, that's a conversation every year, but there's nobody else on the offense that you could give that, impression on. So it has to be Marvin Harrison Jr. And, we see the headlines all off season. He's put on weight. He's in shape. He looks good. So he's setting himself up for a big year. And so I would have to say it's him. Yes.
Yeah. And I don't think it's going to be a surprise when it happens. Like, I don't think this is like, I didn't see last year as a bust. A lot of people, it's lazy. It's like, I'm not saying you, I'm just saying, he wasn't Justin Jefferson. It's like, nobody's Justin Jefferson. Justin Jefferson has shattered every single record since coming into the league. Jamar Chase isn't human. Okay. Like, you can't compare other receivers to Marvin Harrison Jr. He was the third option as a rookie. And what he's done is methodically and quietly done everything he needed to do in an effort to position himself for a better 2025 than his rookie season. Like I said this last week, that was the worst version of a good year for a rookie in Marvin Harrison Jr. That was the worst he could have done, and it was still pretty damn good. So, I mean, he put on the weight. You see him like, Jamil, when you saw AJ Green just come out from Ole Miss and just take a football field, it's like, oh, he makes it look a lot easier than most.
AJ Brown.
Yeah, what did I say, dude? Yeah.
AJ Green was a freak.
AJ Green did that from Georgia too. Sorry, Ole Miss. Like AJ Brown just walks off the bus, and it's like, oh, that looks so easy. Like that's what Marv does in space. I know it's camp. I know it doesn't matter. I know they had a huge bomb from Kyler to him, but it's like his body control. He catches everything. He always wins against the sideline or the back of the end zone. Like, that's not normal. And just because other wide receivers have done it better, faster, doesn't mean he's not absolutely going to rip in 20. Look at the touchdowns. That's what I'm looking for. I'm looking 12, 13 plus in 2025.
Even if like he's obviously the most obvious breakout candidate, because not only is it the most obvious, but he kind of has to. Like, if we were talking about today, Marvin Harrison Jr. calf injury, I would legitimately be talking about, oh crap, the season is already in jeopardy. Because I like Trey McBride. We saw the Cardinals offense last year limited. And again, I've continued to say that, like, I didn't love Marvin Harrison Jr.'s rookie year. I didn't think it was even close to a bust season. I think Drew Petzing had a lot to do with some of the deficiencies to Marvin Harrison Jr. last year. But, like, he has to be. He's going to be the straw that stirs the drink of the Cardinals offense. People talk about, well, they don't have a vertical threat. Yes, they do. It's Marvin Harrison Jr. He's got to be the one to take the top off the defense. He's got to be the vertical threat. He's got to be the guy on the sideline catching passes and making it easier for everyone else. But, like, dude, like, I look around the roster, I think it's Marv, and it's not necessarily close to who the hell number 2 is. Like, I like Will Johnson, I like Walter Nolen, but they're rookies. Marv has done everything to put the weight on. I think he is a superbly talented guy. And although I continue to disagree with Clancy about, like, only one person is Justin Jefferson, sure, I guess. However, like, we took the guy number 4 overall, and right now, Neighbors and Thomas Jr. are both better, and, like, he has to be better than those guys, or that pick was a reach.
Listen, Clancy, I don't know what you got against Malik Neighbors, but every time he gets mentioned, there's some sort of disgruntledness in your face. The guy's a dog. He's a dog.
He is. And so is Brian Thomas Jr. And the reason their numbers are better because they were drafted to save the offense. It's very different. You look at the functionality of the Giants offense and the Jaguars offense. Would you rather have one of those two or Marvin Harrison Jr. with this offense? Like, it should be clear as day. The Giants were a relegated college football team offense last year. So Malik Neighbors was great. Malik Neighbors is electric. He's far more electric than Marvin Harrison Jr. is. I'll take Marvin Harrison Jr. style over Malik Neighbors all day because it can be used. Listen, and this is the reason why. It can be used and exploited in any system. Marv is malleable to whatever's needed. Malik Neighbors, he's OBJ. He's Odell Beckham Jr., okay? And Odell Beckham Jr. was good for 3 years or 4 years, and then he was figured out. Marv can do so many more things than just be faster and get open, which is what I know the wide receivers needed. But, like, the Giants, like, it was the Blake Bortles offense. They were down so much last year that it was garbage time a lot more than what Marv's was garbage time. I would probably take Brian Thomas Jr. over him because he is a little bit more of a traditional wide receiver. I don't know. I can't look at the rookie numbers and be like, they are better than Marvin Harrison Jr. just because their offenses were so bad.
Hey, one thing I will say, and I'm not saying this in comparison to Marvin Harrison Jr., but I do love Malik Neighbors' style of play. I think the way that he can, I just love that he wants, you can tell that he wants the ball. You know what I'm saying? And that's just my preference. And I'm not saying that Marvin Harrison Jr. doesn't, but I think that, yeah, they had completely different offenses for sure. But I just think that I want to see Marvin Harrison Jr. demand the rock. I want to see him take over a game because he has it, just like we saw at Ohio State. So that's just the expectation. Obviously, who his dad is builds that expectation. So I want to see it this year. Like, I'm rooting for the kid.
Can I ask you guys a really stupid, and this is stupid. Like, it's a dumb question, but I do kind of buy into it a little bit. Do you buy the dog mentality, the bleep you mentality, the almost seen as cockiness, which is okay because it's a wide receiver, Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase, any ball, Chad Johnson, I'm always open, that I do wonder if Marv kind of lacks that a little bit. Larry was the same way, right? Larry was a very much reserved, kept himself, and he's kind of one of one. I know there's the Andre Johnsons of the world, kind of, but, like, normally when you're talking about an elite level wide receiver, they've kind of got the personality, I think, of that cocky. MFer who just goes out there and does exactly what he wants to do. And kind of, AJ Brown almost seen as a diva. Like, I do kind of wish Marv had that a little bit. And I wonder if that translates at all. I get it's more of a narrative speak than actual discussion, but I'm curious to pick your guys' brains on that. If you actually buy into it at all.
Listen, I love it as long as it doesn't affect the team. And I know that's hard to put together, but for instance, I think Ja'Marr Chase is very humble about what he does, but you know that he's a dog and you know he wants the ball. I think Justin Jefferson is the same way. Those guys aren't, and AJ Brown as well. Like, I mean, they talk about AJ Brown and Jalen Hurts like they have this terrible relationship. AJ Brown is one of the best receivers in the league. Like, get the man the ball and everything will be okay. I love it as long as it doesn't, like we talked about the Odell Beckham thing. Like, I think that may have been a distraction. You know, like you want the ball, but you're not producing, or you're having these drop spells. That's when things start to get kind of hectic, especially in the media like New York. But I want my guy, I want my number one guy to have that mindset every time, and I'm going to feed him.
Yeah. I mean,
Clancy?
I don't think Justin Jefferson or Ja'Marr Chase are divas at all.
No, I don't either.
I think like Justin Jefferson will do it with a smile on your face after he steals your pudding, but he's not Terrell Owens and Randy Moss and these guys from like the 90s that would just yap. Like, let me ask you this. Do you know what Ja'Marr Chase's voice sounds like? Top of your head? I don't. I've seen it. Yeah, of course. You know what I'm saying.
Oh, sorry, Jamil.
Yeah.
Sorry. We didn't all play offensive line for the Bengals.
Excuse me.
Right.
Like,
I didn't play for the Bengals either. So whoever that guy is.
Whatever you're yapping about. Playing against on the field.
If I ask you what's Randy Moss's voice sound like, exactly, you know what it is. Mississippi twang, give me the damn ball. Like, that's not what Justin Jefferson and Ja'Marr Chase are. I'd much rather the quiet. Eat your lunch in quiet and just flip it, like LT it, flip it to the court, flip it to the ref after you score and go about your day. Let Paris Johnson Jr. raise you up in the air, go back to the sideline. I'd much rather it. And I don't think that it's like nowadays players are so much more like you don't have to overcompensate with yapping like maybe you used to a little bit. Like, it's not fun anymore. Days are over.
I wouldn't even call Malik Neighbors a yapper though. Like, I haven't seen
that I don't think so either.
I just think that he exhibits the dog mentality that you want out of your receiver. And I know guess Marvin Harrison Jr. has it because he wouldn't have been the 4th overall pick if he didn't have it. So I just want to see the confidence out of him that he is that guy for the Cardinals.
Maybe I'm looking so clearly for the confidence, and maybe I kind of described what I was talking about a little. Like with Justin Jefferson, he plays with a grill in. Like, there's that kind of look at me mentality. He does the gritty after every touchdown. So does Ja'Marr Chase. Marvin Harrison Jr., like, to Clancy's credit, the personality wise, he kind of just does the Fitzgerald, gives the ball to the ref. And like, I'm not saying it's wrong. I just wonder if he lacks maybe that, like, I'm him mentality, but maybe he's so confident he doesn't need to say anything about it. Like, I totally buy all of that. I just wanted to pick your brains a little bit on like where you're at on that. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I don't think he lacks. I mean,
okay.
You don't become a 4th overall pick in the NFL draft by lacking confidence or dog. We just want to see it come out in his play.
Yeah. Here's the thing. I know what the missing link is. Mike Gesicki does the gritty after every touchdown too. So trade for him. This offense is on the up and up.
Listen, I'll gritty for you if you want.
No, we got spots for you, baby. We got to stay in one lane at a time here for Ben.
All right.
All right. I get it. I get it. It's a little nonsensical and it's a little bit of a narrative question, but I have been around as far as media has been around Marv, and man, he's just really quiet. And I'm not saying it's the wrong thing. I'm just saying, like, it's a little different. All right. From one Cardinals superstar to another, or maybe I think more so he's one. The other two on this panel maybe think Trey McBride deserves to be the 65th ranked player in the NFL Top 100, just one spot shy of Bo Nix. We will debate that coming up next. However, first, today's show is brought to you by Monarch Money. Ever wish Managing your money felt easier with Monarch Money. It can, whether you're growing your savings or planning a big purchase. Monarch puts you in the driver's seat. It's like having your own personal CFO, giving you full visibility and control over your finances. Monarch Money is more than a budgeting app. It's a complete financial command center. You can track all of your accounts, investments, and spending in one place. So in addition to managing your money, you're also budgeting wealth. For myself, I have had a little bit of issues along with my wife buying too many subscription services that we didn't even know we were paying for. I remember at the start of the MLB season, I get the Diamondback games on my TV. I accidentally re-bought MLB TV. So now I just paid $100 to watch the Diamondbacks on my phone when I could already watch them on the television just fine. With Monarch Money, have a better control over my finances, that probably wouldn't have happened. So take control of your finances with Monarch Money. Use code LOCKEDONNFL at monarchmoney.com for 50% off your first year. That's monarchmoney.com, code LOCKEDONNFL for half off your first year. All right, keeping the show rolling. Keeping the show rolling. Dude. as our text message in our group chats are so wild we can't even share it on air.
You were thinking the same thing.
I was a little nervous of where you were going with the I definitely thought it was going to be a different ad after you said you and your wife. I was a little nervous.
Oh my goodness.
It's a family show. It's a family show.
Hey, I was nervous.
All right.
That's okay. I'm afraid the people in the chat or listening on audio and video probably have no idea what we're talking about. I'd love to say it, but it is a family-friendly show. We can't do that. So let's just move on to our next topic. The NFL Top 100, which is something that the other two guys in the chat probably care about less than I do, but I do care about respect for players that I believe have earned it. Maybe not a team, maybe not other players that haven't yet, but this guy, Trey McBride, has earned better than being the 65th best player in the NFL. And it went down as so. Frankie Louvu at 70, Jordan Mailata at 69, Jordan Love at 68, Malik Neighbors at 67, Jalen Ramsey at 66, Trey McBride at 65, Bo Nix at 64, and at 63, Josh Hines Allen, who had to change his name from being the second best Josh Allen in the NFL. So Trey McBride comes in at 65th overall. More of the list will be revealed, and we'll be able to figure out which guys we want to sub Trey McBride out for. But, I mean, come on, guys. Clancy, you talk about respect being earned, not given, which I agree. Trey McBride has earned the respect of being a top half player in the NFL. Is that not fair?
Why? I'm very simple question.
How about this?
I'm just curious. I'm not being sarcastic. Why?
Because if you take Trey McBride off the Cardinals offense, they're a water gun offense. They're not even a BB gun offense at that point. He is by far, and not only that, he's by far the best player on the Arizona Cardinals. So if you're talking about the Cardinals being a potential playoff team this year, you're talking about a team that doesn't have a top 64 player in the NFL hoping that you make the playoffs. And so I think highly of a guy who had 100 plus catches last year, who was asked to save the offense that we talk about so often, 1,000 receiving yards as a tight end, which is not easy, along with your other assignments. Yeah, he didn't get in the end zone a lot. Okay, it was a little weird. We watched the games. He's better than Bo Nix than to his team is where I would go with that.
Bo Nix made the playoffs as a rookie. Yeah, they got absolutely obliterated after scoring the opening touchdown against Buffalo at Orchard Park, but we won't talk about that. The most important player on the Arizona Cardinals offense is James Conner. It's not Trey McBride. Okay, still. Okay. I think this may be the last year for that, but since James Conner came over, he's been the most important offensive player. Trey McBride has 2 touchdowns last year. Okay, if you give me give me 100 receptions, 1,100 yards, and 10 touchdowns, yeah, he's in the top 50. He'll be in the top 50 next year. But this is predicated upon last year's production, not the future pacing of this year. Okay, and when it comes down to it, Trey McBride still has to show that all-pro jump to be in the top 50. Okay? We're going to see it, but we haven't seen it yet. And I think a lot of this, as you've alluded to with Drew Petzing, like 10 yards per reception should be shushed, not praised. I don't care how many receptions he had. I don't give a rip. That shows a broken offense. That doesn't show an elite dude. Trey McBride is going to be the best tight end for the next 5 years after this year. But he's not in the top 50 yet, and they only gauge it based upon last season. So that's my only thing. This is the last time we're going to talk about this.
Jameel?
In my opinion.
Yeah, I mean...
We probably are going to be the last time because I think he's the last Cardinal to be on it, but we can talk about that in a second.
Yeah, I mean, look, 65 is great. I don't know what else you expect.
God.
This is the National Football League. He's the 65th best player out of 1,700 guys if we're not counting practice squad. Like, he's in the top 1% of athletes, and he's the 65th best guy. I don't know what you want. I don't know. Where do you want the guy to be on the list?
Oh, without a doubt. I mean, this is going to, Clancy, hold on tight. I know you're not wearing anything on the bottoms right now, just your top, but maybe keep that shirt on when I say this, but there are not, I would say Trey McBride is a top quarter player in the NFL. Yeah, I'd say he's 25 to 30. 25 to 30. Yeah, for sure.
That doesn't have rational.
Then we're talking about a team that doesn't have a top half player in the NFL.
And that's okay. And that's okay.
We're talking about potentially being a playoff team this year.
It was based on last year. These lists don't bleep and matter, dude. This was based upon last year's numbers, not future projections for this year.
His numbers were really good last year. His numbers were really good.
He scored 12 points.
My brother, you have to, like, there's more than just scoring points. Like, in terms of, you have to watch the games. How many times do you really think it was Trey McBride not getting it open in the end zone, or Drew Petzing trying to run him in as a running back on the goal line?
He still finished. Well, he had more hurdled players than touchdowns last year, my brother. Okay, so when it comes to Trey McBride, and when it comes to listen, Trey McBride is going to be the best tight end in football for the next 5 years when he supplants George Kittle after this year. There's nobody close. I don't want to hear Sam Laporta. I don't want to hear Tyler Kraft or Tucker Kraft, whatever the hell his name is. I don't want to hear anybody else. Trey McBride is that guy, but it's going to be on Marv. It's going to be on the other dudes, and it's going to be on the run game to allow more openings to be able to get him in the damn end zone more than just falling on a damn football after a fumble.
Ben, you're out of your mind to say he's top 25 is crazy.
It's crazy.
It's crazy.
It's crazy.
It's crazy.
Travis Kelce was like a top 8 player last year on the list.
They won multiple.
They also have come off Super Bowl wins.
Oh my god!
He was the number one target when they won 2 years ago.
I don't think he was. I don't think he was. I don't think he was. I'm pretty sure. I don't even think he. Oh, he did score in that Super Bowl.
They didn't have a receiver on the roster.
That's what I'm saying. I don't think their team was very good. Maybe you're right. You might be right.
They won it 2 years ago, which means the after that second year. So 1 year ago, the list came out, and it didn't matter for future pacing whatsoever. Like, I could name 24 dudes better than without breaking a sweat. You could do that on defense.
Yeah, start on the Eagles. Start on the Eagles team, and then just
they got 8 of them.
All right. Let's change the question. We're not going to agree here. I think Trey McBride is really good. You guys don't think he's very good.
That's not. See,
you know how many NFL players there are? Jameel, how many NFL players were there your last year in the league? Oh, I guess it's every year.
There's 1697 without counting practice squad.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that's top 3% or top 3% is 65. He's top 3% in the league.
Sure. I know the statistics. I think he should be higher. I'm not going to change that. But let me ask you this though, because we've talked about Marv earlier in today's show, and now we've talked about Trey McBride. Let's say the Cardinals make the playoffs this year. Let's say they did. Let's say they win 10 games. They're the 5 seed, whatever. That means their offense is very healthy, right? Or it should be, unless they just had a dominant 85 Bears defense. Who, in your vision, would be the most important player on that team?
Kyler.
Like who?
Kyler.
Are we taking away quarterback?
You know, that's a really good answer. Let's take away quarterback. That's what I just assumed what I meant by weapon. Who was the most important player?
Well,
who was the best?
Jamil, go ahead.
The guy on the outside.
Yeah.
He has to have a big year. He can't have a 600-yard season, 500-yard season, and the Cardinals are in the playoffs. He has to be close to 1,000 yards, over 8 touchdowns, in order for us to even be having the conversation of them being in the playoffs. And Trey McBride doesn't have to have 110 receptions. He can be in the 60, 70, 80 range. But if Marvin Harrison Jr. doesn't show up and play to what a number one receiver, and I'm not saying that he hasn't, but he has to have a big year in order for us to be talking about the Cardinals in the playoffs.
Yeah. I mean, it's I think the more fascinating question is how many would make the top 100 list if they won 10 games? So Budda Baker was 100th on the list, right? No, that was our Locked On NFL list. Sorry. I don't know. I can't remember where Budda Baker was, but you'd look at Trey McBride, you look at Marv, you probably look at Kyler, you look at maybe James Conner, and that's only on offense. Like if this offense is a top 3 offense, you could be looking at 4 dudes, you're probably getting 3. And then you'll probably get 1 defensive player. So you're looking at 4 out of the top 100 if they win 10 games and make the playoffs. Like that's kind of where it at. But I mean, it's Marvin, it's Trey. If they're both 1,000-yard dudes and they score 18 touchdowns between the two of them, we're having conversations into January.
Yeah.
Like there's no way that can't happen.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's why with the Trey thing, it's like, yeah, good bulletin board material. Awesome. Every single list, this is exactly where the Cardinals should be because they haven't done jack aside from having a fantastic offseason. We haven't seen it yet. That's all.
Just so we're clear, I don't think Budda Baker has made the list yet.
Yeah, I think that's fair because I think they went to the top 15 already. I think, but yeah, he made a Locked On NFL top 100 that was voted by us.
I know he was 100 on there. I saw the Locked On top 100, which is actually. Listen,
I just think it's much ado about nothing with all of these lists because now they're not in the foyer, they're not in the parking lot, they're walking into the auditorium to see what the hell this team is made of. So everything's going to change one way or the other with all of this come week 1.
Yeah.
Man, if you're talking about a team of 2,000-yard receivers, or I guess I should say 2,000-yard pass catchers, and between them, I mean, I think you realistically, like if Trey has a season like he did last year, but he actually scores touchdowns, and Marv has a similar season as he did last year, you could be talking about 20 touchdowns between those two guys. Yeah. Marv with 12, Trey with 8, whatever and then you are talking about an offense that maybe you are talking about January, potentially February. Like this team's loaded, man. And I think next year when we're talking about this list, it's 6 or 7 Cardinals on it with Kyler Murray being on there as well. But I would agree with you guys. The most important person is Kyler because he's got to get the ball to him. I think an interesting second one might be Drew Petzing.
Let me ask you one just little pop quiz here. This is not to catch anybody with their pants on or anything. You have 3 seconds to think of this answer. How many touchdowns does Trey McBride have in his career up to date?
Let's say 6. I'll say 6.
Yeah, I'm going to say less than 10.
It's 6. Yeah,
but I would have guessed 2 last year, and then I don't remember him scoring a lot before. I know he had 1 in that Seahawks game a couple of years ago, and that's as much as I can remember.
Yeah, he had 1 his rookie year where he did a little dipsy doodle against San Francisco in the last week of the year. He had 3 last year. He had 4 touchdowns last year, 2 receiving, 1 falling on a fumble, and then 1 I think a rush attempt. He got in late, but
he did.
It hasn't been great. It's got to be great. It hasn't been great.
You know that I'll concede that Trey has got to be better in the red zone, or Drew's got to be better about scheming him open. One of the things about Trey as well, too, man, is he's not a big guy. So I wonder if in the red zone that is going to be more of a Marv thing because Trey's not a big guy. He is like I don't know how
the guy doesn't have a problem getting open. He caught 110 passes.
No, but I'm talking about catching a ball over someone in the back of the pylon. He's not 6'4", man. My brother.
What?
Trey McBride, he might be listed at 6'4". We know both our guy Jody Ayler, who no one knows what we're talking about. Jody towered over Trey McBride. He is not 6'4". I've seen the guy multiple times right in front of me. He is not a very big guy.
So is everybody here. What Trey McBride had done last year was absolutely manhandle anybody in front of him. It didn't matter the position. So I don't see that stopping at 25 years old.
No, all I'm saying is I guess Julio Jones is a bad example because he had a hard time getting in the end zone too. I'm talking about like Marv, throw the ball up to him. I think he's a true 6'4", 6'5" guy. A little bit easier to catch those jump balls. I just think in the end zone at the 5-yard line, maybe a little bit harder to run a fade route to Trey McBride. Not that you're really running fade routes.
He's a spring chicken, dog. He's not freaking at the end of his career.
All right.
Throw the ball up to the kid and let him go make a play.
Let him go throw a bow and catch a touchdown.
Jeez.
This show has gone completely off the rails.
Chicken.
Give me your best. What sound does a chicken make? Jamil, give me your best spring chicken sound.
No, because you didn't say it. Right. You didn't say it right the first time. So,
all right, let's wrap up the show. Going here. The Raiders have released, or I guess waived, or whatever it would be with Christian Wilkins. He's no longer a Las Vegas Raider. Let's kind of talk about that a little bit, as well as should the Cardinals potentially make a play for Christian Wilkins? They have an opening if Walter Nolen is actually injured. Let's talk about it next. So per Adam Schefter today, was it Adam Schefter? It was Adam Schefter. It wasn't Ian Rappaport.
At some point or another.
Well, at some point, Ian Rappaport and Adam Schefter probably fighting over the story. ESPN sources: Raiders are releasing defensive tackle Christian Wilkins with the designation of terminated vested veteran. His time in Las Vegas is now over due to how Wilkins treated his rehab from his foot surgery he suffered last season. The Raiders voided $35 million of his guaranteed money left on Wilkins' contract. Wilkins filed a grievance with the NFLPA. That is insane. Any interest in Christian Wilkins, fellas?
Yeah. So yes, but Jamil, real quick, Raiders.
Yeah.
Antonio Brown went banana sandwich. There was a bunch of dudes that went over there. I think Vontaze Burfict was there at some point.
Yeah, he was there.
Ito, I think, went there at some point. Oh yeah, that's a perfect dude to rep that for sure. When he killed Antonio Brown, Le'Veon Bell, and Ben Roethlisberger. Fantastic. Raiders, okay, as an entity. I know we're coming from a Cardinal situation where it's not the best either. But Raiders, one. Christian Wilkins, as in our group chat, he didn't miss. The dude would eat your lunch with a smile on his face, had the best clips where he's yelling at refs, joking and all that stuff. Like, he was sunshine in a football uniform. And then he gets hurt. He's supposed to come back in 4 months. It's been 10 and he hasn't. Is this the player? And he's going to file a grievance. This is far from over. But like, is this the player or is this the Raiders? Before we get to, is it something you want to deal with if you're the Cardinals?
Man, it's tough to say. And I'll say this. I spent some time coaching with the Dolphins. And this was the year that Christian Wilkinson was in his contract negotiations. The guy did every single thing possible that they asked. He was on the field. He participated in OTAs, minicamp, every single thing, where normally you see guys hold out in that situation. He was somebody that I got the impression, just the couple months I spent around him, he truly loved the game of football, and he loved whooping on offensive linemen. That was clear and evident just from the style that the way he practiced. It's hard for me to say that it's the Raiders because I don't know the Christian Wilkinson after he got paid. So, guys change after they get paid. Guys kind of, their priorities are different. They got this money. Now, $35 million in Las Vegas, no state tax. I don't know how much of that bread he was going to get, but that's a lot of change, to just kind of let go of. So I would have to say if $35 million is on the line, this isn't a Christian Wilkinson thing. This might be a Raiders thing, but that's just my guess.
So would you green flag it if the money made right? And like you do, he's injured still. We'll see. Like, people miraculously Anthony Davis it after getting out of a bad situation.
Listen,
would you take a flyer if the money was there?
I'd take a chance on the guy. I think he's that good of a football player. I think he's disruptive. I think that he brings an edge to your defensive line that you have. I mean, we've obviously seen him play and we know how effective he is. I would take a chance on the guy.
Yeah, I mean, he's Dexter Lawrence. He's Christian Wilkins. He's Leonard Williams, even though Leonard plays alongside. He plays all different spots on the line. Like, Christian Wilkins was a coveted dude, and he took the most money. Okay, that's what happened. And I know you want to parallel with Max Crosby in that story, whatever. He took the cheese, okay? And for me, the thing that matters most, just like the thing with Walter Nolan, Ben, like all joking aside, the Cardinals can have a longer runway with Walter Nolan because they've got dudes. The Cardinals can sign Christian Wilkins if they want to, 2-year deal, 40 mil, 30 mil guarantee, whatever it is, and not shatter anything for the future. They've got all the money. They've got all the picks. They've got all the young dudes who are under rookie scale contracts. You're in a restructure time with Kyler Murray if they keep him this year to knock down that cap number of $60 million next year. Like, this is the window to do some weird stuff without ruining the future instead of just trading for dudes like they used to. So should they? I have no idea. This could go on for months. This could go on for the entire 2025 season in court. We have no idea. It'll probably settle out of, but if he's available, I don't care how many dudes they have.
Yeah.
Add another one.
Yeah. Sorry, I kept saying Wilkinson. It's Wilkins.
Yeah. No, we heard you say it wrong. It's okay.
Would you guys? Ben? You good?
No, I made sure not to do that today. Christian Wilkins, if he's out for that's not the right comment. Would you guys still bring him in if he was out the entirety of the 2025 season? Would you still take a chance on him? He'd be 30 next year.
Yeah, see, that's no. I if he's out the whole year, no. Because what's the point? I've got this young kid that I've drafted in the first round, similar skill set. Obviously, I'm not saying that he is Christian Wilkins because he hasn't played it down yet. But similar build, similar body type, similar skill set. I wouldn't bring him in if he's out the whole year. I think that kind of defeats the purpose of doing the whole thing. So obviously you got to figure out how serious this injury is, why he's been out this long with the type of injury it is, and then go from there.
I just don't think it's this isn't Antonio Brown went crazy after he got paid. Okay, so remember, and who was it? It was either was it Emmanuel Sanders? It was somebody from the Steelers or from the Steelers wide receiver room that was like, watch when this guy gets paid, everything's going to change. And it did. And Christian Wilkins, he's been a borderline sweetheart every year up until now. Okay, so I take the history and the dysfunction of Mark Davis, etc. I take Christian Wilkins, but my thing is, I'm not saying they should. I'm not saying they shouldn't. I'm saying they can if they want to without shattering any sort of future, which is something that is foreign to this organization pretty much since its inception.
I would agree with Clancy that they can. They don't have to. If he was going to play this year, I would say bring him in because at that point, what does it matter? Especially depending on the guaranteed dollars, you have a lot of money to toy around with. And because if Walter Nolan wasn't injured, I'd say I'm good. But Walter Nolan is now injured, and this team, they need bodies, man. Even if it's just good to average bodies, they need more guys on this team that can rush the passer up the middle. I mean, they need it on both sides, I guess, but I would probably lean towards yes here. All right. Thanks so much.
Chandler Jones, too. Chandler Jones going to the Raiders.
He's still looking for Fitz, Chandler.
Bro,
he's still looking for
Fitzgerald. In Vegas. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt. That was just another one.
He's still looking for Larry Fitzgerald. Hey, Jamil, if you ever go crazy like that, will you tell people that I'm in a dog and be like, I'm going to get you out of here, Ben?
Yeah, I got you.
How are you doing? Do you have CTE?
Bro, what?
You can say that. You can say CTE.
We're looking for a new host starting next week.
When's the last time? People don't just get diagnosed while they're alive with CTE.
I don't know.
Bro.
Do you have it? You could go get checked.
You want me to go take a P test or something and let you know? What are we talking about here?
What? Yeah. Okay. Fine. Yes or no? Do you think when you die they'll find CTE in your brain?
I mean, listen. I played football. There's got to be something, but also, hey, there's alternatives. Hey,
all right. Well, hopefully you don't go crazy. Because we need you to do this show. There's not many other athletes that will do it for this little pay. Thank you.
The show without me. Let's just
You should ask me if I CET before him. He's the most normal one on the damn show.
Exactly.
Okay. Thank you for making Locked On Cardinals Squad Show your first listen today. For your second listen, check out the Locked On NFL Scouting as training camps get closer and moves are being made. Host Kyle Krabs and Joe Marino will make you the most informed NFL fan this offseason. 5 Locked On NFL Scouting on YouTube or wherever you listen to your podcast. For Jameel CTE Douglas, for Alex Talks a Lot Clancy, and for Ben the Goat Garcia, great. Everyone in the chat, appreciate you guys being here. We'll see you guys next Tuesday at 6 p.m.